Somewhere above the weather, above the noise, above the crowded corridors of commercial airspace, there exists a quieter world. A world where time bends, borders soften, and silence becomes a strategic asset. At 51,000 feet, power doesn't announce itself, it simply arrives. And in that rarefied space, three aircraft quietly dominate the skies. The E, and the E. On paper, they look like variations of the same idea. Similar silhouettes, similar promises, speed, comfort, range. But in reality, they serve three very different kinds of owners. This is not a comparison about luxury, it's about hierarchy, about how far influence can travel without stopping, and about what it really means to own the sky. These jets come from Seoul, a company that never chased volume, never chased trends, and never chased attention. Instead, it built a reputation on one quiet obsession, making distance irrelevant. For decades, Gulfstream aircraft have been the choice of heads of state, ultra-high net worth individuals, and corporations where time is measured not in hours, but in leverage. The story begins inside the cabin. Because at this level, space is not measured in square feet, it's measured in control. The G400 introduces you to the world. Its cabin stretches wider and longer than anything else in its class, designed around up to three distinct living spaces. Not rows, not seats, spaces, a place to think, a place to negotiate, a place to disconnect entirely. 10 oversized oval windows flood the interior with natural light, while the cabin altitude remains so low that fatigue becomes an afterthought. The air is replaced every 2 minutes. Every breath feels deliberate. For many owners, this is the first realization that private aviation is not about indulgence. It's about performance of the body and mind. Then comes the G500. And this is where refinement replaces introduction. The cabin grows taller, quieter, more deliberate. Configurations become more strategic, a forward or aft galley, a dedicated stateroom, seating that transforms from dining to boardroom without effort. The noise level drops to a near whisper, not by accident, but by design. This aircraft was engineered for people who conduct serious business at altitude, people who understand that silence changes outcomes. If this world fascinates you, the hidden mechanics of power, design, and influence, this is where you belong. Subscribe now and step deeper into the private realms most people never see. But even here, this isn't the summit. Because the G600 exists for a different reason entirely. It doesn't just refine the formula, it stretches it. Up to 4 living areas, award-winning interior architecture, a cabin that feels less like transportation and more like a private residence suspended above the planet. Every surface is intentional, every transition seamless. This is where aviation begins to resemble sovereignty. And yet what you see inside is only half the story, because beneath these cabins lies something far more consequential. Systems that think ahead of the pilots, flight controls that communicate without words, aircraft that monitor themselves in real time, predicting issues before they exist. This is where luxury ends and strategic engineering begins. And once you understand what's happening behind the scenes, the true difference between these three jets becomes impossible to ignore. Because the real separation isn't comfort, it's how far they can go, and what that distance truly means. Now the illusion of comfort gives way to something more precise, because range is not about miles, it is about access. It is about who you can reach and who cannot reach you. The G400 was engineered to open the door. Powered by twin high-thrust turbofan engines, it cruises at nearly Mach 0, 85, and can travel approximately 4,200 nautical miles without stopping. That means New York to London, Los Angeles to Honolulu, direct, no refueling, no compromises. It climbs to 51,000 feet, higher than most commercial traffic, where thinner air means smoother rides and faster ground speeds. For executives and founders building global footprints, that range is freedom enough. But the G500 shifts the equation. Its wing design, swept, supercritical, engineered for efficiency, allows it to stretch to roughly 5,300 nautical miles. That's New York to Dubai, London to Chicago, Its Pratt & Whitney engines generate over 15,000 pounds of thrust each, delivering both speed and climb performance that compress time zones. Inside the cockpit, Gulfstream's Symmetry flight deck replaces conventional control columns with active control side sticks. They move together. They communicate through touch. Pilots don't just see inputs, they feel them. Technology becomes instinct. And then there is the G600. 7,500 nautical miles, let that settle. That's Los Angeles to Sydney, Hong Kong to London, non-stop, at high-speed cruise approaching Mach 0. 90, it is not just long range, it is intercontinental dominance. The takeoff distance remains practical, under 6,000 feet in typical conditions, allowing access to airports many larger jets cannot use. This is not excess, it is strategic positioning. Behind that performance lies engineering philosophy. Gulfstream constructs these airframes primarily from high-strength aluminum alloys, chosen for durability, fatigue resistance, and life cycle predictability. The fuselage cross-section is optimized not only for interior volume, but structural balance. Wings are designed with advanced aerodynamics to reduce drag at high-altitude cruise. These are not aesthetic decisions, they are long-term economic ones, and economics matter here. The G400 enters the market around the low $30 million range. The G500 rises into the mid-40s. The G600 approaches $60 million before customization. Annual operating costs can exceed several million depending on utilization. Fuel burn, maintenance reserves, crew training, hangar fees. This is an ecosystem, not a purchase. Yet within ultra-high net worth circles, the conversation rarely centers on cost alone. It centers on opportunity cost. What deal closes because you arrived rested? What partnership forms because you landed non-stop instead of connecting? What political negotiation shifts because your aircraft can depart immediately without waiting for availability? That is where these three aircraft separate. The G400 is access to the private aviation tier, efficient, capable, globally connected. The G500 is strategic mobility, range that erases most oceans, speed that protects schedules. The G600 is autonomy at scale, nearly any major financial capital non-stop on your timeline. And this is why the comparison is not about which is best, it is about which reflects your sphere of influence. At 51,000 feet, the world below becomes abstract. Borders blur, traffic disappears. The cabin remains pressurized at a level designed to reduce fatigue. Air cycles continuously. Light enters through panoramic oval windows. In that silence, decisions are made that ripple across industries. This is what Gulfstream perfected, not just transportation, but controlled isolation. A private environment moving faster than 600 miles per hour, 3 aircraft, 1 philosophy, sovereign airspace. If this world fascinates you, the engineering, the strategy, the quiet mathematics of power, subscribe and continue exploring the hidden empires of the skies. Because above the clouds, the rules change. And for those who can afford it, the sky is no longer the limit, it's the beginning.